There is a saying that not every player in Call of Duty will be good with every weapon, which is true. And this gun right here is a good example as one of them. Let's continue, shall we? Hello everyone, I'm SBC Brawlers aka Brawlers, and welcome to my third weapon review in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. For the review, we have the Lynx sniper rifle to take a look at. Returning from Call of Duty Ghosts, this sniper rifle is a weapon that is rarely seen in the field, which is unfortunate. On another note, this weapon is the best in its class in the range field. Like I said earlier, many tend to stay away from this weapon. But why? Well, only one way to find out why is in the weapon review. So, let's go. Available right at the start of the multiplayer experience and a part of Creator class, the Lynx is a semi-automatic sniper rifle. If you are comfortable with placing your shots on your enemies, then this weapon can suit you. The rate of fire with this sniper rifle is 400 RPM or 6.66 RPS. Whoa. Wait a sec. Wait, there's a decimal hanging out with this number, so that doesn't count. For a sniper rifle, these numbers are above average, and so is the Lynx magazine size. The Lynx has 8 rounds, which isn't too bad, but here's where the gun starts to show its dark side. Now, if you may, this weapon has medium to high penetration power, and the word medium for the Lynx should be an eye-opener for many. Your Lynx may not always get the kill you want in one shot unless you aim for the head. It may take you 2 and even 3 bullets to successfully bring down your target, and since your enemies have exosuits along with the constant boosting and dodging abilities, it could take you even more than 3 shots in some cases, which could result to frustration to the point of you wanting to throw your controller or mouse across the room. If you really want to be good with the Lynx, you're going to need to have some practice with this weapon. If you find yourself constantly needing at least 10 bullets or more to take down a single enemy, you may want to switch to a different weapon, because with this weapon and you needing that many shots to take down your foe, you're going to feel like a doofus. Like I said earlier, this weapon isn't for everyone. Since we're on the topic of bullets required to kill, at close range, it'll take 1 to 2 bullets to shut down your hostile, and 2 to 3 at a distance, mostly 2 shots. As you aim for the head, it'll always be a 1-shot kill. Aiming for the forehead, however, can be tricky, but it can be done. The raise and drop times of this gun are as follows: a 0.65 second time to raise the gun, and at 0.45 seconds the gun will drop. And the ADS time for the Lynx is around 0.5 to 0.6 seconds. Moving on with the crosshairs, and some have or haven't noticed this, but the crosshairs have returned for the snipers in Advanced Warfare, and an easier time for quick scopers to get those sick kills. I don't judge at all, but I just find it silly to hear so many people can do this type of shooting in Call of Duty. But then again, it's all a game. Get it back on track. Don't bother with the crosshairs. Just pretend they are not there. And as of hip firing, don't even think about it. Hip firing with the Lynx is very weak, and on top of that, the bullets don't have a lot of power to begin with. Only do this as a panic option, but an even better choice would be to try to exo yourself away from the enemy. Other than that, save your bullets. Instead of iron sights, you have a scope with the Lynx. Use this to its full potential. However, you do have attachments to utilize with this long-range weapon. So, let's see what you can throw on this gun. Wait. I still have to mention the reload times, and they are the following. For your regular reloads, we have 2.2 seconds. For the empty reloads, you'll be seeing yourself at 2.75 seconds. Key reminder, the bullets enter the gun chamber at exactly 2 seconds. And as for the sacrifice reload, you will have 1.4 seconds. Since this is COD Advanced Warfare, and due to the fact of your hostiles having exosuits, not to mention getting around the battlefield faster than any other COD, these reload times can leave you vulnerable in the field, especially if you're getting up close to the enemies. Try to keep yourself in between the close quarters and the very lengthy distance of the battlefields. But you'll have to focus yourself during mid to long range battles, since this is a long range weapon. The recoil profile for the Lynx is moderate to severe. Since this is kind of a heavy weapon, every shot will give you a kick. And this is yet another reason why a lot of COD players stay away from this weapon. And finally, we have the movement speed, which your character will be moving at around 85 to 90% of the maximum base speed. Now that we got the rest of the info out of the way, we may move on with the attachments. And up first are of course the optical sights. To be honest, I haven't used all the attachments with this weapon. The only way to find out what works and what does not work is through your own experience. But I will give you a warning. Keep cautious of the variable zoom. For my personal practice with this attachment, it is not good at all. This attachment will not only increase your aim down sight time, which is very noticeable, but can give you an obstructional view as you are focused in on the scope. Personally, just give this a go, and if you find yourself having a hard time, stay away from this attachment. Arm attachments. There are only a few arm attachments with this weapon, so giving them all a go at least a few times wouldn't hurt. But I will say this, the suppressor for this sniper rifle is surprisingly okay. This attachment can give you a stealthy advantage from long ranges. But if you really want to be that type of soldier that wants to be in the stealth based mode, I advise you going with another weapon. Modifications. Clear winner and the #1 choice for the Lynx sniper rifle will have to be extended mags for the modification category. You increase your bullets from 8 to 12 rounds. A 25% increase into the magazine will give the Lynx some advantage over the other team if you're shooting your enemies from a distance. So once you unlock this attachment, immediately place it on. Okay, next are the perks, which they are the following. For tier 1, coming in at 3rd place is low profile. 2nd place is overcharge. But the #1 spot for 1st place will have to be lightweight. But be sure to use lightweight in the correct format. Don't rush up your enemies with this perk. Simply try to find yourself a spot where you can get a good view of the battlefield and try to take your aim with this weapon. For tier 2, coming in at 3rd place, will have to be a tie between cold-blooded and blind eye. 2nd place will have to be fast hands, due to how slow this weapon raises and drops. But if you're the kind of player that can play it carefully with this weapon, #1 choice will have to be peripherals. Instead of you having the regular box-shaped map figure on the top left-hand corner of the screen, you will have the giant rectangular size. For the tier 3, coming in at 3rd place is blast suppressor. 2nd place is hardwired. But coming in at 1st place for the tier 3 is a tie between toughness and scavenger. Toughness will have to be for yourself to get your shots dead on. And even if enemies shoot at you, you will have a better chance of staying on target than if you do not have the perk equipped. And scavenger. If you're really good with this weapon, but if you find yourself having a little trouble with ammo, scavenger can easily equip you with more ammunition as you kill enemies, or if you find other enemies that are laying around on the field. Interested in using an exo ability? Well, the only 3 that actually stand out will have to be Exo Cloak, Exo Mute, and surprisingly, Exo Hover can really help you out. There might have been that one point or another where you are jumping around with your Exo ability and you see the enemy at a distance and you wish and tell yourself, if I only had a long ranged weapon to take out this person. Well, with Exo Hover, all you gotta do is carefully place your jumps and stay in midair for a brief moment. Try to pick off your target as fast as possible, because this Exo ability does leave you vulnerable for other players if you're not using it carefully. If you cannot pick off the shot, don't stay in the air too long. Immediately get down and try to think of another way around. Want to bring in a lethal and or tactical in the field? Technically, the only option that is kind of useful is the tracking drone, if you're using it correctly and if you're playing correctly. As long as you're keeping a fair distance from the enemies, just pop 1 or 2 of these little drones out and they'll cover your 6 if you keep your eye on the map. Just don't aim down the sight for too long. And finally, your wildcards. For the blue wildcards, it's no brainer that primary gunfighter will help you out with the Lynx. Find a good combo of 3 attachments and get on with the game. For the green group, it's also no surprise that any perk greed cards will do, especially if you're going to be focusing on the tier 3 perks. And finally, for the red tier, I would have to go with Tactician. Personally, I find myself using Exo Cloak and Exo Hover a lot with sniper rifles, especially with the Lynx. There was one more thing I almost forgot to mention to you all, and it just got into my mind, and that's the secondaries. I am telling you right now, please bring a secondary. You will not regret this decision. It's only going to cost you 1 point out of the pick 13 slot, but since you're using the Lynx sniper rifle, and the last thing you really want to end up doing is getting to that nearby enemy, only to realize that you have a weapon that is kind of complicated in close quarter fights. So please bring one in your pick 13 system. This is a wise move indeed.
Alright viewers, be advised, we are about to give you the supply drop variant of the Lynx sniper rifle.
What was that? Well, that was my... I always wanted to say that, hey, you can't blame a reviewer for trying. And here they are. Your permanent unlock is the Snake Oil. Kind of a random name, but it'll have to do. No matter what type of Lynx sniper rifle you are wielding, whether it's from the basic to and including your elites, as long as you get 300 kills, you'll unlock the Snake Oil. For the enlisted group, we have 13 Twist, Improve Action, Slung, and Flared. For the professional loot, the following names are Variable, Quarterback, and Combatant. And last but not least, your elite variant names are Attack Driver and Kingpin. Keep your eyes and ears open for the following Lynx sniper rifle variants. The Improved Action has a boost in the fire rate, going from 400 to 428 rounds per minute. The Variable Lynx has an integrated variable zoom, so if you find yourself doing pretty good with the variable zoom, keep on the lookout for this weapon. And of course, the elite weapons are the weapons that we all just want in our loot slots, especially the Kingpin, which this weapon is not only an elite weapon, but has an integrated parabolic microphone. Now, the best info for last is finally here, because there are some good news and bad news to this. The good news is, the weapon is in Exo Zombies, while the bad news is, this is the only sniper rifle to make an appearance in this game mode. So, let's take a look at how this weapon slays the hordes of the undead. The Lynx is available only through the 3D printer at 1,000 credits, and to be honest, this weapon isn't bad at all. This weapon can take down a zombie with one shot well into the late single-digit rounds, and including the early teen rounds, and aiming for the head can do you well up to and including the mid-teen rounds. That is without upgrading the weapon completely, but to be honest, you will have limited ammo with this weapon, so don't be surprised if you end up losing a lot of ammo very quickly. Not to mention the amount of zombies that will be running and exo boosting towards you. If you plan on upgrading the Lynx, and as in a moment, all you're going to get yourself is an ACOG scope once you reach Mark 4. And that's pretty much it. The weapon is a lot of fun to use, but if you really want to get yourself into the higher waves, you may want to switch to another gun. With Exo Zombies done, we're at the end of the Lynx review. This is a challenging weapon to use, and have said this a couple of times already. Not everyone will thrive with this weapon. I do get surprised and a little impressed when someone takes me down with the Lynx, since you do not come across this arm, yet alone someone who can place their shots quickly. I like to call this gun the feline mascot. You gotta be quick with this sniper rifle and have a keen eye to take your prey down. Tricky, yet quick at the same time, along with being a little heavy. With a comfortable setup, this wildcat will praise and satisfy its newfound master. That concludes the review of the Lynx sniper rifle. Thank you all for watching. I hope you learned something new today. Hope you got crazy ideas going on in your head, but most of all, I hope you enjoy. And I hope you will join me in the next review, as the heavy, colorful laser makes its appearance, and it's none other than the EM1. Until then, game on, gamers.